Hello everyone, this is Man Faces, and today we're talking about a build spotlight. This is the Over Encumbered Build. This was brought to my attention by shareholder Alex Trev. So big shout outs to you, man. Thank you for supporting Face Corp. Thanks for being awesome. Okay, so basically this isn't really like a character build so much as it's just a way of getting around the Commonwealth with all your junk. And it even works in survival mode, although you have to wait to a higher level in order to be able to achieve it, otherwise you will kill yourself. Okay, so let's get into the build's parameters. Okay, so the build will require you to have strength 6 and agility 6. And those are key. Most of us already have that. I actually did not have the strength, but I did have the agility because of the commando build. But it was fine, and I'm actually planning to put more into it for survival mode, because in survival mode it's even more important to have strong back. So what it is that you're going to want the first 3 ranks of strong back to start with. Now the 4th rank is pretty good too. If you're not playing in survival mode, it allows you to fast travel back to the settlements, which honestly that's just indispensable, because you could be over encumbered, get everything, and that's including weapons, armor pieces, clothing. You could just get it all, and then you could fast travel back to the settlement, drop it all off, or fast travel to Diamond City. Now in survival mode, how it works is that the 4th rank makes it so that you don't die when you're over encumbered. I don't think I have footage of this. I might have, but in one of the survival diaries, we were having a conversation with a gentleman inside of a sewer, and I put my business suit on and I was automatically over encumbered. So the conversation went too long, and by the end of it I was dead. So this would be indispensable. Now this perk, the 5th rank, was added in Far Harbor. This kind of makes me think that Bethesda knew what was going on, and they kind of put this into the game for this purpose. But for now, we're not going to mess with this one because that requires a DLC. Okay, next thing we need is moving target. Now for melee characters, I feel this is indispensable because you have to rush to your target, so you're gonna get hit, but this makes it so that you get less damage. Now for gunfighters, namely like Man Faces, he got the 3rd rank for power armor because of the 50% fewer action costs. So when I would go into a powered boost, which is when you sprint then jump into jetpack, I would barely use any AP points. But in this build, how it works is that you just kind of move, but you burn AP. So I'm going to go on ahead and pick up my whole workshop.
These appear worthless.
Okay. Now, I already did a little bit of pre-prep, so I'm going to go on ahead and pop these off,
Surely we can leave that behind.
because that's for the next step. But as you can see, I'm sprinting. Now, I can't full on out sprint, but I can keep it moving. Now, you can make this even better. Oh, I think I have the wrong piece on. Yeah, well, I guess I'll bring up the next point. Sprinters accessories make this even better, just for the simple fact that you run faster. Now I don't have my sprinter's legs on, so I sprint normally. But as you can see, my AP bar is going down pretty quick. So let's talk about what I had to add to the build, because shareholder member Alex Trev, big shout outs, awesome. He pointed out that he found this on the Reddit forums, but there was no mention of Action Boy. Now this 3rd rank is a part of Far Harbor. I need to get it, but not for this test because it doesn't apply. But the 1st rank, 25% faster regeneration, 50% faster regeneration. If you don't know that, or you want to know more about it, you should check out the commando build video, because it had side-by-side comparisons about Action Boy. But it is part of the commando build. I always get Action Boy, and namely it's because the AP, it just comes back really fast. The first reason I used it was just because I wanted to keep it going, but it turned more into survival when I started playing the new survival mode. I'm getting close to the red rocket. I'll run this way. I guess we'll just take in the breeze. This is the part that I'm seeing that I don't really like too much. Because, like, let's say you're in combat and then you end up having to kind of stand still. I think this might be really good for melee characters. A, they already have the strength requirement. And B, they can use blitz. So they could be just standing here and then traverse large portions of territory. Now, what I'm also thinking is that because you're a melee character, you would have a really high endurance. As you can see, Manny of the Waste has 3 because he's a gunfighter, because I liked him to die quickly, just kept things going. But the more endurance I have, let's just pump it to 10. The longer my stamina bar goes for. So with this, now I'm really just like getting places. Although I do believe that you probably don't want to be a VATS combat fighter too much with this. I guess the good thing is that you can always just drop the junk and then you're a regular character. But that moment that you get over encumbered, you don't have to stop. Okay, so we've talked about the first portion of the build. Now there are some accessories that you can use to kind of give yourself the edge. So I'll meet you guys at Vault 81. Okay, so we're at the depot inside Vault 81. We're going to speak with Alexis Combs.
Looking for something? I have more stuff than I know what to do.
Right. Let's see what you got.
Great. I have all sorts of...
Uh-huh.
Okay, so she has the Destroyer's right leg. 663. I have a lot of charisma, and I'm not really wearing any charisma clothes, so this is a really great price. I definitely picked that up. She honestly got some pretty good stuff. Because honestly, it's hard to find armor in your style. But anyways, what this is going to do is this is going to increase our movement speed.
Much.
Aaron told me how you saved Austin's life.
There, and you see,
Guess you're not bad.
now I've got even more. Now, if I could have one more part, I would be
got a
almost
pretty big
faster
mess
than
to
normal
attend to now with that
sprinting.
new vault
So
wing.
to do that, we need to head to Bunker Hill. Okay, so we're in the main building at Bunker Hill, and we're going to come and talk to Deb.
I'll take a look. Sure.
Everything is sold as is.
Okay, now we had just bought another right leg at Vault 81. So if you can't get to Vault 81 or you want a leg of better condition, you can come here to Deb and pick up the Black Ops right shin guard. That's honestly more my style, but it gives the same legendary effect of 10% movement. Now, in order
Bunker
to complete
Hill
the
is like
set,
home
we're going to have to take a trip
Only place
out
care
to
of
Good
them
Neighbor
folk
and
have
see
been able
one
to
of
get.
my favorite people, Daisy.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
Cash
So
or
we're
trade?
shopping
Let's
with
get
Daisy, a good neighbor. And she has the Destroyer's left leg. So with that, it completes our set. Or you could just go with both the Destroyers, but me personally, I like the Black Ops. But as you can see, we are really moving now. I honestly believe that we're moving faster than we would be if we were sprinting, which is always a good thing. I think you might get a little bit more with sprint, but that's no problem. So I guess to recap about it, what I'm gonna have to say is that it seems good in theory. It seems like a really good way to get around the Commonwealth. I don't think you could do it all the time, namely because sometimes in some places you end up fighting super mutant armies, and in those engagements you tend to run a lot in order to get cover and get new positions. But if you have as much endurance as Man Faces has at this point, plus all the relevant perks, it might not even matter. And if you're a meleeer, I think it would be even better because you can use the perk Rooted. And what that's going to do is bolster your damage while you're not moving. So in case scenarios where you just run out of AP and you have to stand still for a second, you can soak up some shots while you pump your AP. But what do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care, everyone.